All right, so here with Molly, and my main question, first off, is what is global warming?
It's like you have to recycle
Okay.
things so the world won't get all dirty with trash.
Okay.
And that's
Are you think of like an assembly you've been to or something?
yeah.
Yeah. What'd they tell you about there?
Well, they talked about like energy,
Mm-hmm.
and they talked about recycling and like solar power and that stuff.
Okay. Do you know what that has to do with, like, why do they call it global warming then, if it's dealing with recycling and stuff like that?
Like they're warning the earth, like the people to take care of the earth.
Okay. So it's all, you're saying, like, recycling will take care of the earth and that'll help change global warming? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So if we recycle more, do you think that's going to increase global warming? Like, is the earth going to become hotter or colder? What do you think in terms of that?
Well, I think like there's a lot of like people put trash on the roads and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and if we got rid of all that, like I think more wind will be able to come through, so I think it'll get colder.
Okay, so if the wind can travel through, then what happens to the hot air? You're saying that'll then move, or?
Well, in science class right now we're learning about the hot air stays on the bottom, or like no, the cold air it goes on the bottom, and the hot air goes up top.
Colder bottom, hotter top. So you
Yeah.
said, okay. And so cold air on the bottom. So if people are like littering, and is that what you said? Like if people throw trash on the floor and stuff, then that's kind of blocking air from going. So that's building up what type of air then?
Like the air can't travel through like the streets and stuff because there's paper and plastic bags.
Okay. So it's just like a bunch of trash is getting in the way of air moving. So then where does the air go to if it can move? Like if we lived in a perfect world and we were like decreasing global warming and air was able to move through, there was no trash in the way. So how would that, you're saying that would like decrease global warming, right? Okay, so with that, I'm just wondering like where does the air go almost?
Well, like mixed together with some of the hot air so it won't get too cold, and the cold air will just like go through, and we just keep going in this big circle.
Circle all around the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so if we've got trash built up like right here on the ground, and you're saying cold air is on the bottom, that's what's getting stuck by the trash. So how come if the cold air is hitting all the trash and it's kind of staying stuck on earth, how come we say that it's warmer instead of colder?
Well, because sometimes, like to me, like if the cold air gets blocked up by some trash, it won't be able to go through the trash.
Okay.
It can go like around it, so the hot air like stays on top of the cold air,
Okay.
and then it'll eventually mix together.
And then it'll mix. But so when you've got the cold air like trapped by the trash and like hot air's on top, so what part of that is like warming? I'm just trying to understand.
Like the sun, I guess, heats the air. Or no,
Okay.
it doesn't heat the air, but like heats the water molecules, and they're hot,
Mm-hmm.
and they evaporate, which makes hot air like moist air.
Okay.
So, and then that's what makes the air hot, I guess.
Okay, so it just kind of builds up. Is that what you mean? Gotcha. All right. And so then you were saying that the heat comes from the sun, right? Okay. Do you think all the heat is coming from the sun, and water molecules? Do they trap it? Like, is it all in water molecules?
No, like not all water molecules.
Tongue twister.
The sun gives energy like to different resources,
Okay.
like plants and animals, and they produce energy, or like they produce heat.
Okay.
Like if you touch like your dog or something and it's hot from where it's been sleeping, and that gives off heat.
Okay.
Heat source.
So we've got animals giving off heat is what we talked about, and we talked about trash keeping air stuck. Is that the word you want to use? I just want to make sure I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Yeah. Like it will keep the air trapped, but it can like go around it.
Okay, so it'll kind of make it harder to move around. Okay, and so the sun's heating up, and you said plants and animals are both releasing heat?
Well, I guess not as much as animals, plants, but animals give off heat.
Okay, and so that just kind of gets stuck with all the trash and harder to move around. Is that what it is? Okay, and then one more question, because we're in Kentucky. Do you hear people talk a lot about coal with global warming?
Yeah, because coal is not a renewable resource,
Okay.
and people use coal for a lot of things. There's coal that you can use for your fire and charcoal. And you can make coal into gases and oil.
Okay, so it's not renewable. What does that mean?
Like it's not man-made. You can't remake it like the earth made it. But like we're running out of it because we use so much of it.
Okay, so we aren't going to have any more once we're out. We're done. Gotcha. And then you talked about coal turning into gases. Is
Like,
that...
when they turn into gases, they're first when you're filling up gas in your car and like all the fumes
Okay.
from the gas go up.
Have you ever seen it where it looks like a mirage? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I think when the coal turns into gas.
Okay, so how do they do that? Is that...
Like they just get heated.
heat?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that'll turn it into a gas. So we've got coal gas in the air now. So how does that fall into our global warming? If it does at all. If you don't think it does,
Air
that's fine.
polluting the air.
Okay, so we talked about trash on the floor. So if we've got trash in the air pollution, is that doing the same thing as the trash on the ground? What do you think about that?
Well, we can't breathe it in. Well, we can breathe it in, but it just hurts our lungs.
Okay.
And it hurts other things, and it'll make things die. And in Mexico City, we saw this picture in social studies, and there was a bunch of black stuff all in the air above the city. And it just stayed there and hanged up there.
So
And
it just
the people just
sticks.
yeah.
And does that have anything at all to do with global warming if it just stays there, do you think?
Well, if you have a bunch of black stuff all in the sky above you, I guess the sun can't really reach the ground because all the smog is blocking it.
Okay, so it might actually even get colder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add about it that you might know? No? Alright, well thanks.